Okay, y'all. So the other night, I must have been watching Holiday Heart, y'all. And when I tell y'all, I was sitting over here just going through it, so sad, so depressed, so like, Holiday Heart had me out here crying 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, just watching and grieving and just feeling so bad. Y'all seen Holiday Heart? When I tell you that movie really be putting you through it and puts you through the emotions, it just emotions taking me over. Cause that man played the hell out of that role. Okay, the hell out of that role. That movie does a real good job of explaining and expressing how addiction is a real thing, and addiction is really, really complicated, and addiction is really, really hard to beat. It's a very difficult thing. I felt so like, whoa, right? They talk about sexuality, they talk about addiction, they talk about just a bunch of different topics, all like balled up into one. And when I tell you, Holiday Heart really just tugs at your heartstring, okay? That man played the heck out of that role. Because damn, when he came out and he said he was passed around in the house, jail, in the prison, he said he was passed around, I cried like a little baby. I promise you. Because he said, I still walk around with a switch in my walk, and, joy in my talk, something like that.
Try being passed around between 20 men in a jail cell. A place a 16-year-old should never lay eyes on, let alone spend 10 years in. But he does because he killed a man for beating up his mama, who then, the grateful bitch, begged the authorities to lock him up and throw away the key. So don't you tell me about being in some goddamn family loop. No, no. I don't want sympathy, and I ain't offering any.
Not the exact words. No matter what I went through, like, girl, you always got a story to tell about how somebody done did this to you and did this, and we all got a story. Get up, what they say, pull yourself by your bootstraps and work it on out. Holiday Heart, like, oh my God. And it really is like a little letter to the girl who's dealing with a mother or a parent that's struggling with addiction. It's like a love note to you to know that you're not alone. And it's like, oh my God. And when she was trying to talk to boys, trying to like, be her mom and stuff, be like her mom, Holiday like had her look in the mirror and say, you are not her. You are you, And then she broke that mirror and started crying because she was so upset and she had to let that out. I'm like, girl, don't be breaking my mirrors now. But it really like tugged at my heartstrings, and I felt like, man, she really was over here trying to relive or be like her mom. That movie, oh my God, like, I have to make noises about it because it's such a good movie. It really been like, it had me like just emotional. And then when Holiday finally got to go to Paris, I was like, yay, because that man was trying to leave for Paris. They pushed him about their business only for her to get with the dealer and going back on the stuff. And I feel like Holiday was like the base for Uncle Clifford, okay? Everything Holiday was is like the base for Uncle Clifford, because, man, it was giving Uncle Clifford, but on like a smaller, level. I just loved the movie. And she really like pushed Holiday away because she wanted to be with that drug dealer, only for her to get back, around the drugs.
My mama always said, weeping might endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning if you wait. So I wait.
How y'all doing?
And I try not to hate.
Look at that.
So I put my ear to the earth, and I wait. I listen, oh so quietly.
Called that man the inappropriate, like, slur. And was like, are you that? After all that man did for you, you was getting beat up on the drugs bad. Getting beat up. That man was ripping your stuff, all of that. And you got in that man's life and you just abandoned him at a place to where you felt like you could have a mother and a father and all of that just for you to get hooked back on that stuff because you was moving too damn fast. And I don't know. Holiday Heart is just that movie, okay? It's just it's the movie, and it's such a good movie. And I was watching it just crying, and I really thought about, man, this was a really good movie. And it reminded me, the first time I seen it, that bike scene always is like the saddest scene ever, but it's funny, but it's bad. Just because of how her hair is and everything else, but it really is a heartbreaking scene. Everybody does a whole bunch of remake of that scene. If you really like look at it from an emotional standpoint, that's a sad scene. Really sad. But yeah, I love Holiday Heart.